Good morning. This is George Herrera, and today is Tuesday, and as always, I'm coming in front of you to share my personal growth. And today we're going to talk about the law of modeling, which is chapter 13 in the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, written by John Maxwell. My name is George Herrera. I am a John Maxwell certified speaker, and I want to share with you my personal growth. John Maxwell has a story that when he was in his 20s, he was already leading a good-sized church, and he was looking for personal growth, and he could not find anybody. I mean, his first mentors were books, and yes, well, books can help us a lot to improve our progress, our growth on whatever discipline we are focused. But so anyway, John Maxwell couldn't find anybody that was teaching personal growth, but found a person of the name Kurt Camp Mayer, which was a salesman of personal growth systems or methods, and he bought the method from him. So he grew a lot by using it, but then he was looking for people that were doing what he was doing, which he was a pastor of a small size church, but that it was growing strongly. So he found pastors of big churches, and he actually offered them $100 if they would give him a few minutes with, or maybe an hour with him to ask him questions. And he was able to grow a lot by using that strategy. And John Maxwell talks about 6 characteristics for good mentors. And by the way, if you want to communicate with me, my name is George Herrera, and you can reach me at jorgeeherrera.com or in my blog, jorgeeherrera.blog, and in that way you can also read about my thoughts on personal growth and my experience in the Master Key experience. So the 6 characteristics that John Maxwell talks about, the first one is a mentor has to be a worldly example. But that he means that not only this person should have the knowledge and the experience that we're looking for, but this person should have a good character. There are nowadays athletes and people in public life that they want to separate the public life from the private life, and that is not possible because we only have one identity. So to be able to be transparent and have integrity, we have to behave the same in public than we behave privately. So that's the reason he mentions this particular point, and so we need to look for that when we look for a good mentor. The second point is that the mentor should be available. In this point, John Maxwell talks about that when we're starting to grow, we should look for somebody that is 2 or 3 levels ahead of where we are and where we want to go. Not necessarily somebody that is at 10 levels ahead of us. He makes the case that if I want to start growing in politics, it won't help me to look for the president of the country to ask him for advice, because even the president of the country at this time, he has forgotten the experiences that I'm going to be living at the level that I am. So I have to look for somebody that has recently lived those experiences, and that is probably somebody that is 2 or 3 levels ahead of me. So that's a good way to look at that. But anyway, that person that you are looking for has to be available to you, because you need to be able to interact with this person and ask him questions and being able to get those answers. And what better way that in a face-to-face interview. So that's what that is very important. Now the third point that John Maxwell brings is that this person should have experience. And when we're looking for somebody that has the experience in the field that we want to grow, that we want to progress, then this is extremely important. There is a Chinese saying that says that to know the road ahead, ask the people that are coming back. When I'm saying this, it reminds me of an experience that I live in my country, in Colombia. With my wife and a friend of hers, we were driving on a 4-wheel drive vehicle up the mountains, and we were going from a small town called Líbano to the volcán Nevado del Ruiz, a snow-capped volcano. And the road that we were following, that it was the shorter one, or the shortest one, it was too difficult. It had rained recently, and there was a lot of mud and too many holes and obstacles in the road. So we got stuck a couple of times, and we spent a lot of time getting unstuck, even though we were driving a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So as we continue, there were some peasants that were coming down the road riding horses and with mules. So we asked them, how is the road ahead? And they told us, well, if what you have seen so far has been difficult, what is ahead of you is really bad. What you have seen so far is like a very nice stroll in the park. What is ahead of you is really difficult. What I did is I turned ahead, and I turned around and went back and looked for a different road. And even though the road that we were in, it would have taken us maybe 30 to 45 minutes more if the road would have been in good condition, we reached our destination using the other road after 4 hours of driving. So, but I made a good decision because I listened to people with experience, and that's what people with experience help us achieve. They save us from difficulties, from spending our time fighting with problems. So that's why the person with experience can be a good mentor. Well, the other point, the other characteristic is that this mentor that we look for should have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. And for that, John Maxwell relates an example where the manager of a factory, he has to call for a technician because his production stopped suddenly. A machine failed and he didn't know what to do, and he was losing a lot of money because all the production stopped. So the technician came to the factory, and he came with a small black bag, and he spent some time checking all the process, all the machines, and then he came to the machine that, based on his experience, was at fault. So he opened his black bag, got a small hammer out of it, and tapped into this machine, and everything started working. All the production was restored. The technician left and sent an invoice to the manager. The invoice was for $1,000. And the manager got very upset. He said, "What? $1,000 for that? Just for walking around and a few taps? I'm not going to pay that invoice unless you send the invoice itemized." So the technician got the message from the manager, and he sent the invoice back itemized this way: tapping with a hammer, $1, knowing where to tap, $999. Now that the invoice was itemized, the manager had no other resource than paying the invoice. But that's what knowledge, that's what wisdom can help us to save many problems on our process to grow, on our progress. The next point, the next characteristic, is that the mentor should offer us friendship and support. If we find a mentor that is not interested about us, it's not of good help. There is a saying that the people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. So finding a good mentor is a person that is interested in our growth, in our circumstances, a person that really is focused in helping us, is involved with us in our growth. So that's a very good point. And the last one is a mentor has to be also a coach that is focused on making a difference in people's lives. And how can we find that? Well, when we look for a mentor that is spending time on writing books to help people, and that is also using means of communication to be able to help more people, that's the mentor that we should look for. Because as I'm going through in my growth on personal growth, that I'm learning about the universal mind, it is important that for our quest, our desires to materialize, that we are in agreement with the greater good and for the maximum amount of people. So that also proves that the mentor that we look for should be involved in trying to help a lot of people. That's his main focus. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you. Be tolerant. Oh, I'm going to add something that I forgot to do it in my Facebook share, and it is the different ways that a mentor is called. And in Japan, that mentor is called a sensei, which is somebody that has gone farther down the path. So in martial arts, that's a designation for master. In Sanskrit, as an antique language, a guru is that person that is a person of great knowledge and wisdom. And gu means darkness and ru, light. So it's a person that brings us light in the darkness. In Tibet, the Lama is one with spirituality and authority. In Italy, a maestro is the master that teaches music. In France, a tutor is somebody that teaches in private, teaches people in small groups. In England, a guide is somebody that knows and shows the way. In Greece, a mentor is a wise and trusted advisor. Well, I hope you get some value from this chat, and smile, be tolerant, enjoy nature. I will see you next week with chapter 14 in the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth.